Hello and welcome back to MoonClan. My name is Frosty and today we are picking up where we left off last time. So last time I did give you guys some homework. I asked for some insight as to how we wanted to proceed, basically moving forward here. So sometimes cats will get strikes for, infractions that are a little bit harsh or could be read in a multitude of different ways. Sometimes it could be innocent, sometimes it might not be. So where do the cats kind of fall in line there? So with our strike system, I asked for some feedback to see when strikes could or should be removed. And I also asked if we wanted to do anything in specific for the whole finding out who are our murderers plot, because unfortunately we have a lot of murderers in this clan. So I did get some good feedback. I think a large part of what people can agree on is that not every infraction is created equal, and so some strikes might not be equal themselves in turn. So Lizard J says that what removes strikes could depend on what it was to begin with, like going off territory might just need some time, while meeting with outsiders might need participation in battle to prove loyalty. And others were saying that they thought they were being lenient, saying 50 moons to forgive, but they do think it depends on the leader of the clan. They do say that when it comes to heroic deeds, that it should be only non-LifeGen oriented things. So that was Moonkiss Streamer 599 who suggested that, so thank you for your insight as well. I did not get any really clear feedback on how we want to proceed with the deductive reasoning here. Whether or not we want to only do visions or do some other kind of generator here. So we'll leave that for now, but I do think we'll implement both aspects of that feedback. So before we really dive into things today, I'm going to go ahead and update some cats' bios and just see where we stand with strikes at the end of that, and I'll go through at the end. Okay, and one I do think I'm going to get rid of altogether is the same one that Yarostar here has, which is like racing along border or talking with other clan. Since, I mean, there's like actual border patrols in the game where we do that too, it doesn't really feel fair or consistent to strike cats for doing that over the moon. So I think we'll count this as just a non-disclaimer. Okay, so with Frost Whispers, both of his are for disappearing for a few days. And I can honestly see going missing being different from disappearing. I don't know which one would be considered more negative, because one almost implies that, of course, they were missed. They were supposed to be somewhere and they just weren't. Whereas the other one, to me, kind of says that they weren't missed, for better or worse there. But at the end of it all, the result is kind of the same, and it feels a little silly to be splitting hairs. This is kind of one of those borderline ones for me. I think the consensus is that we're going to give this more time and basically have the cat, earn off the strike. So Frost Whisper actually has to do something in order to get these strikes removed, I think. So sadly, we are kind of treading that line still on the strike. And Weaselreed is also going to be keeping his strike too. This is playing with a kitty pet. That's pretty egregious, and that was very recent, so he'll keep his. Okay, Raven's Song strike happened Moon 41. It is now going to be Moon 80 this episode. So I think we'll go ahead and let him lose this strike because it's been long enough. And just to kind of note, strikes that have expired, I am going to keep them in there, but just note that it's expired and that it doesn't count against them anymore. just so we can kind of get a better feel for the cats that are more likely to push boundaries too. Little Heart was outside the territory, so similar to before. That implies that he left our boundaries, so we're gonna keep that on. And it's still pretty recent. It's only his first though, so he should be good. Okay, so talking calmly to Loner, I think we'll count this the same as like the passing conversation. So Comfreyfoot will get her strike removed. Alright, I am counting this against Frost Whisper, so I'm going to count this against Liar too. She's going to keep her strike for going missing Moon 61. And same sort of deal, Falcon Scratch. I don't really think this strike would last forever, so his is probably going to expire soon, since it was now 30 moons ago. Alright, goal sets, racing with the rival, will go though. Needledew is obviously going to be keeping her strike for breaking the code. If there's any strike that won't expire, we'll have a really hard time getting removed. I think it's gonna be this one. Alright, Fawnshock had a strike for fighting other clan cats at the border. I'm actually a little torn on this one, just because, you know, spats are gonna happen at the border. That's obviously a thing that happens. I just don't know, like, if she was in the wrong, you know? Like, if she was caught trespassing and that led to the spat. Because that's very well something that could happen. So I'm gonna remove this one for now, because she's generally a good bean anyway. But in the future, if we see stuff like that that could, you know, be their fault or ours, we'll just flip a coin, I think, and we will add a strike or not if they were found at fault. And then Sneaky Cats can get a bonus on that. Alright, Pale Fur, murderer though he may be. His only strike was talking to Goose Clan, so we're just gonna remove that. Icy Fin, on the other hand, his is saying, since he did break the code. And everyone else in the clan is good, so thank you for bearing with me on a longer intro. And we're gonna jump into events here going into Moon 78. We comfort an elder who's feeling unwell, their grateful purr echoing in the quiet den. An elder tells stories from their youth. You listen, captivated by tales of bravery and adventure. I'm honestly not sure who this elder might be. I think Blueshade is our oldest cat, but I don't think he's elder mode yet. So it's probably him just by process of elimination. A heated argument with BlitzClan patrol leaves us ruffled, our claws itching for a fight. Alright, I wonder if we're gonna be having some problems with BlitzClan moving forward then. Pigeonflick and Golsat found a litter of 2 kits and decided to adopt them. Rumors have reached our clan that the exiled Misty Fluff has died recently. It's been a very long time since we've heard of Misty Fluff, obviously. It's sad that they're gone, but I don't think anybody in the clan would be too broken up about it except for their remaining sibling. I think they only have one still in the clan. So we'll see if anybody really actively mourns them, but I kind of feel like when a cat gets exiled, that's when the mourning happens anyway. But I'm curious to see these 2 kits that Pigeonflick and Golsat found. Frost Whisper bickered about something trivial with Snowleaf. Yeah, see, I think we're just having some major issues kind of getting along with Snowleaf lately. So I don't know if there's just some innate differences that are coming to light, or if we're, you know, disagreeing about something bigger and it's kind of eating into some smaller relationships and interactions too. But he's been having some issues. Frost Whisper saw Chirpback take the last piece of prey from the fresh kill pile. And Frost Whisper didn't get the joke Cold Shriek was telling. So we've had a pretty bad moon for interactions. Sky Scratch has recovered from birthing their litter. That's good. Comfreyfoot has gotten green cough. Uh-oh, we are actually in quite a bit of trouble here. Fire Rush's sprain is healed, but Golsap has gotten white cough, and Needledew has also gotten green cough. So there's definitely something going around the clan. And this is only the first moon of Leaf Fall, not even Leaf Bare. So we have to hope that we can get a lot of herbs, otherwise this could really, you know, come back and bite us later. But Rabbitail's heat exhaustion has abated with the cooler nights. Oh! Coldstreak is truthful when Scorchrunner questions them about Greenfin's strange death. Coldstreak claims that Greenfin deserved to die after what Error did to Coldstreak. I'm assuming after what Greenfin did to Coldstreak? Okay, so a murderer has actually admitted to killing a cat, and it was Greenfin's murderer at that, so Frost Whisperer, I'm sure, is going to actually have some measure of peace now. Meanwhile, Coldstreak couldn't care less. He's playing a prank on Fawnshock, and Yarosar has nothing interesting to say there. Scorchrunner is definitely young. He's currently sparring with some clanmates. Fierce, fast as a wind, and a renowned hunter, so he's definitely very adept when it comes to things. Coldstreak and Scorchrunner were sparring in the clan's designated sparring area, when suddenly Scorchrunner is tripped up and Coldstreak pins him a little too hard in a fit of temper. Scorchrunner comments on it when Coldstreak doesn't immediately back off, and Coldstreak, taking a moment to realize that there's other cats present, slowly and hesitantly does so. Scorchrunner makes a passing comment about it, but Coldstreak simply ignores them, seeming to be lost in their own thoughts. Scorchrunner is still feeling fluffed up from the experience, as what they saw in Coldstreak's eyes was really quite scary still. Scorchrunner vowed to later talk to them about it, and pulled them aside one stormy night, asking them what happened during training earlier. Coldstreak, who had been living with the burden of killing another cat for many moons in silence, finally has either a flare of temper or a moment of clarity, and admits what they've done to Scorchrunner, and how they were so mad at Greenfin before, and how they were so mad at Scorchrunner in that moment, they could have seen themselves doing it again, and that Greenfin deserved it, and perhaps Scorchrunner would have too. Scorchrunner sits, apparently calm, but inwardly shocked at the outward admission. Had Coldstreak really just admitted to killing another member of the clan? Scorchrunner is torn on what to do. After all, how can you say anything when your deputy suddenly admits to having killed another cat when they seemed so wise and so respectful, even way beyond their years? Scorchrunner, however, does go to Yarosar eventually, dripping wet from the rain of the autumn night. Yarosar is shocked to see Scorchrunner coming into their den, so out of sorts and obviously distressed. Scorchrunner tells Yarosar what they heard. Yarosar does not immediately believe it, but upon seeing Coldstreak's face when they return, Yarosar knows that it must be true, and Coldstreak knows that their time has come. Without really any further talk, they wait in the clearing, their head bowed to await their fate. Yarosar calls out the clan, and they all gather in the clearing in the midst of a thunderstorm, chatting amongst themselves as to what could possibly be necessary to have such a meeting at this time in this sort of weather. Yarosar dramatically proclaims Coldstreak's guilt. Frost Whisperer immediately cries out in pain and distress upon hearing that Coldstreak was the one to have killed his mate, his doomed lover, and he, in a fit of temper that the clan does not usually associate with the calm and aloof cat, jumps upon Coldstreak. The two cats tussle, with the clan shocked and disgusted looking on from the edges. Eventually, the two gray cats separate. Frost Whisperer, fur fluffed up and sides heaving, looks away from Coldstreak, who was left with many wounds and scars from that night, but sits in a huddled mess, having not even bothered to defend himself. Frost Whisperer is no truly fierce warrior, and so he did not give Coldstreak the death that may have been deserved or which may have felt justified for the situation. The clan would not have blamed him if he had, but Frost Whisperer is no killer himself, and so he turns away from the murderer with disgust. Yarosar dips his head in acknowledgement that Frost Whisper has metered out his own sort of punishment, and proclaims to the clan that Cold Shriek is no longer a warrior, but should still be treated as respect as their previous deputy and as a former member of their clan. So they will give him until dawn to clear off of their territory, and he shall never be seen again. If he is, he will be murdered upon the spot, for he has returned to the clan, which has no place for him. And they will assume that it can only be with malice that he would return. Cold Shriek turns, only his bee in tow as he leaves the clan. Not everybody seems entirely happy with this new change. Snowleaf in particular mourns his brother, but he does not go with him, and he does not say any words of encouragement to him as he leaves. He only keeps his head bowed, staring fixedly at the ground, wondering just where everything could have gone wrong. And with that, Cold Shriek is now exiled. Okay, I'm not going to appoint anybody clearly as a deputy here. I still want to leave that up to the game to decide. I would have really liked it if it was Frost Whisper. It would really feel like it was putting everything into a nice, neat little bow. But that's not necessarily how that's going to turn out. Yarosar was a very new leader, and he's actually done a really good job, I think. And of course, not every warrior can be leader, so we're following the life of a warrior. Sometimes it's okay to not be the exception or to not be the leader. So if Frost Whisper doesn't ever make it, that's okay with me. The only thing I'd be a little sad about is that there's some like leadership-oriented LifeGen events that we'd never get to see. But yeah, Cold Shriek is gone. That's honestly kind of crazy. And let's check out some of our new little kits here. So at first we have Rowan Kit, who's snuggling up into the belly of Pigeon Flick. He's a newborn male with cobalt eyes and a speckled gray pelt with a lonesome nature. I do think I'm going to change his name. It might be a little bit on the nose, but I do kind of want to name him Storm Kit, just because he's coming in such a storm of the clan's making. Like, there's just so much drama. Exile literally takes place in the thunderstorm. And so I think it just makes sense. And Rowan, to me, is a very red cat name, and he is very not red. So let's go and name him Storm. And then our other kit here is Stork Kit, who's also snuggling up to the belly of Pigeon Flick. A newborn male with cobalt eyes and a masked pelt. He is manipulative. It looks like he's mostly gray and white too. So this is their parent, Rook. He is currently glad his kits are safe. He was a gray and white cat, also with a masked pelt and cobalt eyes. He was mellow and a kitty pet. So we've got Stormkin, Storkkit. That's gonna be a bit of a tongue twister there. Who are adopted by Pigeon Flick and Golsat. Alright, let's check in on everybody else though and see how everyone's doing. So Yarosar saw some wandering two-legs today. Nothing crazy there. Blue Shade is happy they chose life as a medicine cat. I think he has really settled into his role, even if he might have been better as a mediator. I think it's better for him than warriorhood. And Hill Petal is batting at their tail. We're wanting to get to know Needledew better, so I'm going to try and remember to actually patrol with Needledew this moon. Ravensong wants to compliment Scorch Runner's fighting techniques. I'm going to say Ravensong was present at the training scuffle, and also is probably actually praising his honor and coming forward to Yarosar there. Also, sorry by the way, if during the story time you heard any rustling. River is being really clingy lately. Snowleaf is eavesdropping on Yarosar. Okay, so, I mean, it's very possible he's still upset about what happened to his brother, and he's looking for any insight as to where he could have gone, or Yarosar's thoughts on the situation. We are fighting with him this moon. I think it's just more appropriate given everything that's happened in a neutral encounter. So I think the fight could definitely be related to Snowleaf's role in everything there. I'd be more offended if I respected your opinion. Definitely has to be about Goldshriek. Oh, Needledew is giving us some advice as well. Okay, so we can't patrol with her since she is sick, but we will talk to her. Cough, wheeze. Needledew's breathing is short and staggered. Aw. Get better soon, Needledew. Fawnchuck is telling Rabbitail to get some rest and that they'll replace him on patrol. I just don't think I've ever really seen this before, but it's nice to see the clan caring for itself right now. Chirpback is giving some advice to Blueshade. We are insulting. Once again, Chirpback would be more offended if he respected our opinion. Honestly, with the revelation, that could explain why Frost Whisperer is having a bit of an off month. Oh, poor Mosscomb thinks Goldshriek is doing a great job as a deputy, and then has a rug pulled out from underneath him. Moonfern is gathering moss for the nursery. As Moonfern tells a story about a clan cat who helped others in need, Primkit listens intently, eyes wide with admiration. Chardrumble is gathering moss for the nursery. Primkit yowls that they'll shred Chardrumble to pieces one day after losing in a play fight. Primkit's current stats are Courage and Compassion 1, but Intelligence -2. Primkit, meanwhile, is playing with the sick. Alright, but now it's time for LifeGen Patrol. We find a particularly smooth stone near the river that reminds us of a cat that we're fond of. I'm gonna go ahead and say instead of this normal interaction, we're actually getting a river stone for Greenfin in memory of Greenfin since, you know, Goldshriek has finally been caught. So it's finally come out, and we'll go ahead and get something nice for Greenfin. And you know, maybe leave that in one of his favorite spots just to kind of act as a headstone and as a way to honor him. Blueshade gathers plantain. Hillpetal can't quite connect to Star Clan. Our requisite border patrol sees a badger making a den on Clay Clan territory. We do go ahead and warn them of the badger, improving our relationships. Alright, we've had a few good hunting missions so far. Lil Heart was hunted to eat prey that they caught, but they resisted temptation, making sure the elders are fed instead. So that was a large amount of prey that time. So now we're once again over 400 pieces of prey. So if we do find any cats that want to join up with the clan, we can adopt them. Just saying. For our border patrol, we are with Yarosar and Scorchrunner. And while on the patrol, Scorchrunner notices some suspicious paw prints, so we are pursuing this. It leads to trespassing rogue, but we quickly send them off. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into next moon. We found a new accessory, a gray rabbit this time. We store it in a safe place for now. Yarosar chooses Comfreyfoot to take over as deputy, in hopes that Goldshriek would approve. But we don't really care what Goldshriek thinks. I don't really think I would have picked Comfreyfoot, so I'm curious to see how she's gonna do in that position. Oh no. Golsap died of white cough. All the cats with the coughs and the green coughs are okay, and Golsap has to white cough. Sky Scratch looks at all the cats sitting vigil for Golsap and wonders how any of them will cope without Golsap in their lives. Sky Scratch makes a point of removing foliage from Golsap's nest, snapping at any hindrance. Their paws tremble over the material, distraught when they realize how fast Golsap's scent is fading. Pigeon Flick can't believe that the stiff body before them was once their Golsap, their love. At any moment, they expect them to open their eyes and laugh, but it never happens. The world seems so much darker now. Pigeon Flick can't be bothered to get up out of their nest the next day, refusing to speak a word to those around them. And this was right after they just adopted some kits, too. Oh. Why does it always gotta come and go like this? Frost Whisper caught Storkit complaining about them behind their back, high negative effect. Or Frost Whisper turned to Hillpetal in a time of need, only for them to abandon us. Snowleaf gives Frost Whisper some feathers from a bird they caught to line their nest. finally a good effect between the two of them. I really don't want to be insulting a kit, that just lost their parent, especially since it's gotta be a really hard time right now, so we'll just maybe ignore that one. Yarosar saved Ravensong from a fox, but was hurt. Golsap has a white cough. Needledee no longer has green cough. Popeye misstepped and slipped from a rock, spraining their paw. Storkit has gotten kitten cough. Oh no. I almost never have cats recover from kitten cough. If we lose Storkit right after Golsap, I'm never gonna emotionally recover. I'm just putting that out there now. Oh, Storkit. And Storkit is scolded after sneaking out of camp. Yeah, I'm not insulting Stork this moon. I don't care. It's... No. That's horrible. But let's check out the kits. Storm Kid is asking older cats how kits are born. This is what he looks like, a little bit more grown up. Honestly, a slightly lighter version of Frost Whisper, if anything. His pelt is just speckled, not rosette, though. And here's Stork Kit bouncing around in excitement. That's what he looks like healthy. He's so cute, too. Nothing can happen to him, please. I'm begging. Yarosar was recently caught humming to themselves. He is injured with a bite wound. That's honestly better than the broken bone I was kind of expecting, so I'm glad he's not too hurt. Comfreyfoot is curious about the other clans. She's witty and a camp keeper, so definitely not what I would have immediately thought of for deputy material. But I wouldn't really say Frost Whisper would have been better for the job based on his resume either. So I understand why she would have been promoted. Just surprised it wasn't a cat like Pigeon Flick or Weasel Reed, who's a little bit older. But she's not exactly, a huge youth either. Blue Shade is tending growing herbs. Hill Petal is feeling nice and clean. There's so many cats grieving right now, though. We're currently feeling perplexed. Well, let's check out our new accessory, I guess. Oh my gosh. We can be totally decked out here. This is what it looks like if we have everything. I don't think we need everything, but I do actually really like that rabbit. I'm gonna not put it on though. At least not right now, just because I really do like our moth wings, so we'll just let that be. Snowleaf is giving some advice to Fawnchuck. We're talking to him. Bet I can make you laugh without even saying a word. Ready? Snowleaf makes a funny face and falls over dramatically. Not laughing. Tough crowd. At least we're trying, I guess. Falcon Scratch is praying that Golsap is safe in StarClan. I really hope so too. Fawnchuck is also praying that Golsap is safe in StarClan. Popeye is grumbling as they carry out a task for the medicine cat. She is injured with a sprain, so she's not as hurt or sick as some other cats. So I'm sure that they're kind of just putting her to work to also help alleviate some boredom. But she probably was expecting to get a little bit more pampering. Moonfern is refining skills and recognizing the unique needs of each kit. As Moonfern and Stormkit play Moss Ball, Moonfern notices how Stormkit takes a gentle approach when passing the ball back, making sure it doesn't fly at their face. Empathy 1. Charred Rumble is sad they couldn't spend more time with Golsap. Charred Rumble tells a story about forgiveness between rival warring clans, and Stormkit takes the moral of the tale to heart. Empathy 2. River's so upset I'm not paying her attention. I know you are. I don't know if you guys can hear, but we're doing our patrol now. The deputy is forming a border patrol. Do we want to volunteer? We join the patrol and do an excellent job securing the borders. Our vigilance is noted. Hill Petal gathers Dandelion. Catmint was gathered by Blue Shade. Hopefully this means that we're not going to be in any bad positions when it comes to white or green cough now. I don't think white cough is treated with green or with catmint. So I think that might have been the issue if we had enough for the green cough, but nothing for white. But I do really like this art here. This is really cute. We bring back a huge amount of prey on our first hunting mission. We are going on a border patrol when we meet Clay Clan, a clan we consider allies at the border. We have a nice conversation, and then return back to our own patrols, improving our relationships. Scorchunner thinks they had a vision from StarClan, and the cats all talked about it as they hunted. I'm just wondering if Scorchunner isn't actually going to be like our fire star here and bring justice to the whole clan at this point. Alright, nothing else of note there. Just all the usual hunting and border missions, honestly. Still, no recruitment prompts, sadly. But let's go ahead and jump into our last moon. We lead a patrol to mark the boundaries of our territory. The scent of home fills you with a sense of pride and belonging. We share a fresh kill with our former mentor, their stories of the past filling the air. Well, I don't think we are. Coyote Path is certainly not in the clan anymore. Oh, yeah. I was really hoping that this wasn't gonna happen. Stork Kid is passive Kitten Cough, and this past moon they've taken their place in Clan. If there's any consolation in this, it's that Gulsap is gonna be there for them when they get there. But I hate losing kids, and especially to, sickness or disease that you just can't do anything about. And I know that Kitten Cough has, a better living rate than some of the other things, like wasting disease, but still, almost no kittens I ever have that get it survive, so I wasn't super optimistic, but I was really hoping that this would have turned out differently. Frost Whisper is talking with Little Heart. Frost Whisper, Falcon Scratch, and Storm Kit take a sunbath and have a small talk. Frost Whisper asks Fierce Face how they're doing. Little Heart feels ignored by us. Comfreyfoot no longer has green cough. Falcon Scratch left from a rock but didn't land quite right. Palefur's gotten rid of all their fleas. The Quick Clan Medicine Cat comes asking if we have horsetail to spare. However, we only have enough for ourselves and we don't share. And that's all that there is in other clan too. Okay, Editing Frosty is here because it is around this point that I accidentally muted my microphone for the rest of this moon and only noticed towards the end. So we're going to go over some cats real quick. First up we have Yarosar, who's pondering recent dreams they had, perhaps from StarClan. Comfreyfoot is wondering kitty pet life is really so bad. Blue Shades are saying the names of herbs aloud. And Hill Petal saw a Tula Kit playing with a kitty pet. I guess River is joining me too. Pigeon Flick will never forget Stork Kit, which absolutely broke my heart because not only are they mourning Gulsap, but now they're mourning a kit that could have been had with Gulsap and they'll never have now. Frost Whisper is trying to set a good example for younger cats, which is refreshing to see given last moon. Little Heart is wondering where the Dark Forest came from, which is a great question and possibly comes from what happened before, but we are talking to him. Oh hey Frost Whisper, can I talk to you about something? I saw Roga on patrol today. I managed to chase her off the territory, but then I got carried away and, well, I kept following after her. Don't know what I was trying to do, she just kept making me so angry, calling me weak, calling me a failure, saying I was a disappointment to my clan. Eventually I realized what I was doing and I let her go, but I couldn't stop thinking about those things she said. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm being such a downer today. Thanks for being here for me, Frost Whisper. Little Heart presses their head into your shoulder, sighing into your fur. I felt really bad for Little Heart here too, honestly, just because it's really easy to get carried away, and when there's so much upheaval in the clan, it's natural to try and question where you fall in that and how things could have gotten to the point where you were so blinded by your clanmates that you just didn't even realize what was happening. I did check out our relationships with Little Heart just to see where we were standing. We had very strong platonic like. Falcon Scratch uses the shadows on the trees to orient themselves. That comes from her Pathfinder trait. We do talk to him, and Falcon Scratch and Needledew are quietly gossiping together, whispering and laughing in the clearing. We're curious about what they're saying, but decide not to interrupt their precious sibling time. Fierceface is wishing Stormkit would play more quietly, which I thought was just a little bit distasteful given what just happened with Stormkit. Have you heard what people are saying about Pigeonflick and Comfreyfoot? They say that Chirpback is trying to replace Comfreyfoot by any means possible. I wonder if it's true. You tell Fierceface that they shouldn't buy into petty gossip. Oh, come on, even if it isn't true, it's always fun to talk about. Yeah, we are trying not to go into more gossip issues, so. Moonfern is assisting a queen with particularly mischievous kits. It's probably Pigeonflick just for sake of having some support. But when changing out the nursery moss bedding, Moonfern knows his prune kit saved all the best for themselves, so that decreased our compassion. Tartarumble is considering how to foster camaraderie among kits from different litters, possibly for similar reasons. And I decided to try and get that back with Primkit since he's been having some problems. Tartarumble lectures Primkit about different roles in the clan, and Primkit answers every question in the pop quiz correctly, somehow increasing compassion. I don't understand that one still. Meanwhile, Stormkit is up to usual kid activities and is busy mastering a battle move they're performing incorrectly. We do talk to him. Stormkit slams them a little too hard while playing. Oof. Gasp. Oh my Starclan, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you? Are you alright? You might not seem like you're damaged now, but what if it happens later? What if you have a concussion or worse, internal bleeding? I better get Blue Shade, and Yarosar too. Gasp. But oh no, what if they exile me? Well, I guess that's a risk I'll have to take. For your health, Frost is burned for the safety of MoonClan. Maybe everyone would be better off without a destructive force like me running around. I'll be right back. Try not to move. Obviously, Stormkit was very affected by what happened with Cold Shriek and Stormkit as well. So I think this was kind of leaching into even his play, so he's lonesome by nature, and I think that naturally makes him a little bit more insecure. But whenever everything was happening during all of his formative kithood months, I think that really just leached in and kind of took hold in his mind somewhere. But now let's go ahead and go on LifeGen patrol. So an apprentice is struggling with their battle moves, and we get the apprentice some tips that help them quickly improve. They're grateful for our help. We don't have an apprentice, I'm assuming that was just a kit. And Blue Shade gathers some oak leaves, and Hill Petal gets some time. Okay, I required border patrol for the month, stumbles across a large dog, wandering in the middle of the clan's territory. It's a patrol led by Little Heart with Needledew, Ravensong, and Lightpelt. We unfortunately cannot ignore this, as this is a direct threat to the clan, but when we proceed, we are able to successfully lure the dog away with the size of the patrol, so no cat is injured at least. Our patrol this moon decided to go hunting with Snowleaf, and we also have Mosscone and Bondshock. We did encounter 2 lake clearings, so with a nervous and aloof and insecure cat, it felt appropriate to turn around and take some precautions, so we just didn't proceed on this patrol, which means we got nothing, but nothing happened either. Technological issues aside, I'm glad I guess I caught that now. Not too much happened on our last bit of patrols in case I don't really showcase that or in case there's some issues there. Effectively, we just did a few hunts, got a little bit of food, and did patrols as usual. There were no major losses there. There was no, consequences for failing anything. Frost Whisper's patrol was really the only one we turned around for because we had some nervous and insecure cats going into a clearing where there were a lot of 2 legs lingering, so we just didn't proceed, and Frost Whisper, of course, remained safe there by consequence. But, yeah. Whoops, sorry about that. This has been quite an interesting episode. definitely a little bit longer. I don't know how things are gonna shake out now with the possible mute on the microphone, having been there for I don't know how long. So, apologies again if that was an issue, but I was definitely expecting this to be a little bit shorter of an episode. Of course, that didn't happen, but that's okay. As just a disclaimer, I of course did not make any changes to LifeGen. I did not cause Cold Shriek to be caught at that point in time when he did. It is very thematically appropriate, I think, because we were making a lot of other changes anyway. So I think it kind of made sense for him to get caught there, but I wasn't going to influence anything there unduly either. If anybody would even care if I did. Just want to put that out there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, even with all of the ups and downs of this episode. Feel free to check out links in the description below to links to other social media, as well as alternate ways to support me if you feel so inclined. Thank you to Parental Unit for supporting the channel, as that is greatly appreciated, especially right now with school being a thing and living on a school or student's budget again. So, until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you all then, and bye!